So good.
Okay.
Great hair.
Hello there, Reject Nation. I'm Greggy.
I'm Johnny.
We're going to watch a video, top reward tier video request from Andrew Hayes, whose favorite channel is watchmojo.com.
Andy.
Top 10 animated movie villains with understandable motivations. Let's watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Game. Set. Match.
Okay,
Ha.
we can kind of see where the...
Hello, Phoebe.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 animated villains with understandable motivations.
Get out
For
of-
this list,
get out-
we're
get
looking
out.
at the villains from animated movies whose backstories
come
and
back.
personalities make us understand
Ugh.
why they do what they do, even if we don't necessarily agree with how they go about it.
Ah, so tense.
Number 10, Wilson Fisk,
Ooh.
also known as Kingpin. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'd say it's nice to see you again, Spider-Man, but it's not.
Do you know who played him?
Boom it.
Set in the
don't
titular
remember.
Spider-Verse, in
Lee
which there are alternate
Schreiber.
universes,
Ooh,
this animated
hey.
flick
I
introduces
think.
us to Wilson Fisk. As a man who not only commands multiple supervillains, but who's also smart and resourceful enough to get his own particle accelerator built. He'll also kill anyone who gets in his way, including Spider-Man, with the teenaged Miles Morales witnessing the whole affair.
Dead Spider-Man.
It's hard not to feel some sympathy upon discovering that he's hoping to find other versions of his late son and wife. But the fact that he's willing to risk the lives of everyone in New York City by running the Super Collider again is another matter.
I can't wait to kill one more Spider-Man.
But I understand his motive.
What?
That is a great movie.
Ultimately, Kingpin and his enforcers get their just desserts thanks to the new Spider-Man and his alternate versions.
Oh, they're going to spoil the endings of movies.
Yeah. No spoiler alert going rogue.
Let's hope they don't go all about Forrest Gump.
Luckily, there's no animated Forrest Gump yet.
Number 9, Hades, Hercules.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
The god of the underworld, Hades
you
is,
know who
despite
played
his
him?
somewhat terrifying
Yeah, man.
appearance,
Jimmy Woody's.
a pretty
Yeah.
smooth and nice guy and not actually evil, from a mythological perspective at least.
Come on, Hades, don't be such a stiff. Join the celebration.
Hey, love to, babe. But unlike you gods lounging about
This
up
is
here,
a
I
great
regrettably have a full-time gig you, by the way, so charitably bestowed on me, Zeus. So, can't. Love to, but can't.
Given the thankless
I was in
task
for
of
Halloween
ruling
once.
over and guiding the souls
really?
of the dead, while the other gods enjoy
I'm
life
Zeus
on Mount
most
Olympus,
days of the year.
Hades is only out for revenge after being excluded by his peers and isolated from most of his immortal existence.
If only.
If there's one god you don't want to get steamed up, it's Hades.
Hercules!
In addition, he even maintains the bargains he makes, even if he sometimes uses them to his advantage. So while his revenge certainly threatens the Greek pantheon, as well as many lives, we get why he chose such a titanic response.
Brothers! Titan! Look at you in your squalid prison! Who put you down there?
Number 8, Rex Dangervest, for Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Let's show the live action spots.
I was
Yes.
left behind, forgotten, while the rest of my so-called friends danced and sang at the hands of a monster.
All he wanted was for his existence to be remembered. Unfortunately, Rex crashed his spaceship into an asteroid field and found himself all alone and left behind a clothes dryer. This caused Rex to evolve into Radical Emmett Extreme, which is actually a future version of Emmett seeking revenge.
Is that what his
and
name is?
bringing about of
I
Armada.
never picked up on it.
I got myself a
Radical evidence. I never picked up on it.
Yeah.
It must have just flown over me when I watched it.
everything that's lame.
So can we
It's-
really blame him for going back in
it's a
time
very
to
visual
save Emmett
moment.
from a similar fate and trying to convince his past self to become like him?
The name's Rex. Rex Dangervest. Galaxy defending archaeologist. Cowboy. Master trainer who likes building furniture, busting heads, and having chiseled features previously hidden under baby fat.
We guess not, but we can certainly blame him for the way he went about it. Not only does Rex lie about being a galaxy-defending archaeologist, cowboy, and raptor trainer, but he also recruits a raptor army and pushes Emmett behind a clothes dryer in an attempt to ensure his future existence. Number 7, Captain Hook, Peter Pan. As a pirate captain and possible murderer, there's no denying that Hook is a villain through
Definitely.
and through.
Now let me see. Where was I?
Oh, dear, Captain Hook.
Yet his arch enemy Peter Pan isn't much better, given his own somewhat sinister actions, like luring children away from their families to Neverland.
That's a different perspective.
In addition,
They're
Pan
gone.
cut off Hook's hand in a duel and fed it to a
a kidnap.
crocodile, which now pursues Hook, leaving him constantly in fear for his life and unable to get over the trauma of being disfigured.
Wow. Pan's an asshole.
Did Pan show good form when he did this to me?
I cut him. Cutting your hand off was only a childish prank, you might say.
Hook's pursuit of Pan is sympathetic, even if the man himself is not. Number 6, Ursula, the Little Mermaid. Speaking of villains fond of bargains, Ursula is a sea witch who is in the practice of creating contracts with poor unfortunate souls, including our heroine Ariel.
Wait, those two aren't black.
While her
called
actions
satire.
are undoubtedly bad, it's mentioned that she was cast out by Triton, Ariel's father, whose draconian
Serious.
standards drive his own daughter away too.
Banished and exiled and practically starving, while he and his flimsy fish folks celebrate.
So Ursula is mostly motivated by a desire for revenge on the king who banished her. Also, Ursula is upfront with Ariel about what her deal entails, and it's Ariel's fault for not reading the fine print.
You see? The contract's legal, binding, and completely unbreakable, even for you.
So while this villain may sink to murky depths, we understand why.
Influencers getting that
Number
problem
5,
all the time.
Gabi, Toy Story 4.
My name is Gabi, and this is my very good friend, Vincent.
Is she a villain?
Woody, pleasure to meet you.
She's
Much
an
like Lotso in the previous
antagonist.
film, Gabi is a toy that has grown bitter about not being wanted, and takes out her anger on those around her.
She replaced us. Come on.
No, she only replaced you.
She replaced all of us, didn't she?
Unlike Lotso, Gabi wasn't lost and replaced. She was born broken when a manufacturing defect left her with a malfunctioning voice box, leaving her stuck and unsold in an antique
I had a
shop
similar
for over
problem.
6 decades.
Kid, toys
I
around
fixed
here
it.
don't have kids. Are you two lost?
Lost? No, but we are looking for a lost toy.
While the circumstances under which she was created and found herself in second chance antiques were beyond her control, the way in which she led the rest of her life and took on several ventriloquist dummies to do her dirty work are under her control.
We can't stay.
Yes, you can, boys.
Luckily, with some guidance from Woody and his friends, Gabi is able to change her life for the better. Number 4, Dawn Bellwether.
I'm so glad I've
Zootopia.
seen all these movies.
No, it's going well so far.
You're the assistant mayor of
Totally ruining the endings of
all of it.
The browbeaten, overworked assistant mayor of Zootopia, Bellwether hatches a plan to create a panic among the populace
Have you
of
seen
the
this?
city
Yeah.
about predator
We reviewed
animals in order to rise
Yeah, I
to power
remember
and create
every
a
movie we
society
reviewed.
dominated by prey.
Well, you should have just stayed on the carrot farm, huh? It really is too bad.
Have they made, I'm surprised they haven't made a sequel to
Bellwether's
this yet.
plan is motivated
Yeah.
by her experiences being mistreated by predators.
Have they announced one?
Although
I
her
don't know.
desire to create a
Such a
society
good movie.
dominated by one demographic is wrong and can easily be paralleled in the real world, she's right to want to address the
Judy
kind of discrimination
Hopps.
and
She's
abuse she
hot.
experienced among other citizens to make Zootopia a better place.
So that's it. Prey fears predator and you stay in power?
Yeah, pretty much.
It won't work.
Fear always works.
Number 3, Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed, the Lion King.
Idiots, there will be a king.
But not Scar.
The hyenas of the savannah,
No,
and in particular a bumbling
not in this
trio of
version.
them, act as Scar's soldiers in his
I was
against
Scar,
Mufasa.
not the one on the list.
Yeah.
What's it do? Kill Mufasa?
Precisely.
Though we get where the evil lion is coming from too, his hench hyenas
Oh,
are
never mind.
definitely
We're
more
good.
sympathetic. Scar wins them over with promises.
I
of
forgot
all
this is
food they
top
can
10
eat,
most
which is
sympathetic
something
villains.
They're denied under Mufasa.
I will be king. Stick with me, and you'll never go.
Hungry again.
Oh
While it's implied that they're harmful to the circle of life, Mufasa could have done more to help them understand that.
I don't like how their
Instead of
faces are all
forcing them to
animated.
live in a dusty outfit graveyard.
All this expression.
So while Scar commits murder out of a lust
This
for
is
power,
way too
the
funny.
hyenas just want to eat.
Hey, did you bring us anything to eat, Scar? Oh, buddy, oh, pal, huh? Did you?
I don't think you really deserve this.
Number 2, Shere Khan, the Jungle Book.
We can't give a lion and a tiger.
Why
Yeah, you
should
gotta pick
run?
one cat.
Could it be possible that you don't know who I am?
An urbane and commanding tiger, Shere Khan is the undisputed king of the jungle and the Jungle Book. During the course of the story, he pursues the young man-cub protagonist Mowgli relentlessly. However, it's established that Shere Khan fears both fire and firearms, both of which are associated with man and therefore Mowgli.
Sooner or later, Mowgli will meet Shere Khan.
The tiger? What's he got against the kid?
Shere Khan is right to fear
Bill
humans,
Murray sounded
as they are
so
a threat to him and
different.
the other jungle residents, particularly since Mowgli ends up using fire against him.
It's fire.
We can understand why he would try to hunt down something that could be a serious threat to him. Before we get to our most sympathetic number 1 pick, because hey, we kinda get it, here are a few honorable mentions.
We know about the portal, and we think that it's time you sent all these monsters home.
TMNT got on the honorable mentions list.
I couldn't agree with you more. It is time to put an end to the curse that I have brought upon myself and this world.
This looks like a straight to DVD ad.
Make you proud! Tell me how proud you are!
I like him.
Tell me!
Back when the arcade first opened, Turbo Time was by far the most popular game. And Turbo, well, he loved the attention.
Mother knows best.
Ah, I forgot there was a villain in this movie.
You won't survive. Sloppy underdressed, immature, clumsy to leave. They'll eat you off alive.
I've never seen this movie.
But I don't remember it very well.
Everything you possess. Stocks and bonds, this mansion, your country's chateau, our treasures, jewels.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1, Syndrome, The Incredibles.
No, I'm a new superhero.
Should have seen that coming.
I'm Syndrome!
Yeah.
A supervillain who murders superheroes with his killer robots, Syndrome is definitely not a good guy. However, he used to be Mr. Incredible's number 1 fan, named Buddy. When his hero rejected him and his attempts at heroism, it drove the young boy to despise heroes.
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
It tore me apart, but I learned an important lesson.
Mysterio.
Can't count on anyone, especially your heroes.
He began developing inventions so that he could sell them to everyone, so that, in his words,
So that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super,
No one will be.
Syndrome's murders and borderline sociopathy
That
aren't
is such a
conscionable
good
in the
movie.
least. But being let down by your hero, which Evelyn Dever, otherwise known as Screenslaver, also experiences in The Incredibles 2, is something a lot of us can understand and relate to.
So, like a child, Winston conflates the two. Mommy and Daddy went away because supers went away. Our sweet parents were fools to put their lives in anybody else's hands. Superheroes keep us weak.
Do you agree with our picks?
I can't wait to
Check out
see the
this
live
other
action
recent
remake
clip
of
from
that.
WatchMojo, and
They're
be
gonna
sure to
CG
subscribe
animate
and
all
ring the
those
bell
people.
to be notified of our latest videos.
They're gonna do mocap. They're gonna hire actors for mocap.
That's funny, John.
Haha, thanks, man.
Thank you, Phoebe, for that video.
Oh.
Let's talk about some of them. One thing to really factor in is that these are all theatrically released movies. You
Yes.
know, like there's a lot of DC animated. Freaking, they start with Marvel.
Where's Phantasm?
Hey. DC animated movies have some amazing villains in there, and this should have been called Top 10 Sympathetic Villains, because that wasn't really made clear until like you got to Scar and the Lion King. Because to me, Scar's motives make perfect sense. You know, he feels like he was rightful heir to becoming king. this lion is born and takes away his time to become king, it made sense to me. But, you know, they gave it to the hyenas. But yeah, a lot of these come from sympathetic approaches. Wilson Fisk from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, he just wants his family back. Vanessa.
Hades was interesting to me because I feel like you can see that dynamic in so many different religious texts and stuff.
Sure.
You have like the god figure who casts out one of his most trusted and sends them to be the lord of the underworld. And the bitterness of that story has always kind of resonated in an odd way, or at least been fascinating to me in an odd way. Especially, yeah, when he's coming upon the other Titans and he's like, look where they have you imprisoned and stuff, you know?
Well, some of the best villains, I mean, excluding people like Heath Ledger's Joker and stuff, sometimes some villains are great just because they're pure anarchy or pure evil. But a lot of times the villains we most identify with are the ones who have been wronged in some way, like Killmonger recently, you know. Hades wronged in a certain way because his brother put him there to do this duty, you know?
Yeah. I feel like there's an odd thing about villainy where, like, you either have to be really understandable or really not understandable to the point of monstrousness.
Yeah.
I feel like we get a lot of kind of in-the-middle villains who are broody and nasty,
Sure.
but, you know, ultimately have kind of generic motives.
I mean, with Captain Hook, that's an interesting take on how, well, Peter Pan's just as bad if you think about it.
Hey.
And I've never actually had... Hey!
I don't know why. Hey! And I'm gonna do Andrew Dice Clay for the rest of the video.
I've never had that thought about Peter Pan, but that is true.
I wish
about it. Yeah.
Those are the kinds of remakes I would like to see. Like if you took Peter Pan and just looked at it through a different lens and kind of had the same events happen. But then you think about it, I mean, Peter Pan is whisking these children off someplace.
You can make Peter Pan a villain.
Yeah, you could. And yeah, I mean, Captain Hook is dastardly, but I don't know, he's
still a bad
lived
guy.
a rough life.
I get why he hates Pan, but he's still a bad guy.
Yeah, he's
still bad.
He's chosen a life of piracy.
It would be an interesting list, his top 10 heroes who are really not good.
That would be a great list.
Yeah.
That would be a very fascinating list.
Make that list.
Shere Khan, I think, always makes it, at least... I get the logic. I get how that argument forms is like, all we know about man people is that they come in here into the jungle and they poach us and stuff. Yeah, that ties into both the themes of the movie. Basically, I feel like Shere Khan goes wrong through, again, a lack of sympathy.
Yeah.
You know, or a critical element of humanity, for lack of a better word.
Syndrome, to me, is probably my favorite animated villain of all time. Because it does everything that we kind of jumped our commentary off with. Pure evil, but yet you so get it.
Yeah.
And that's rare to be like, they did both with this one guy.
Yeah. Over time, you've seen his dreams get crushed and his heroes kind of slag him off.
Yeah, and how he is born because, I mean, sure, one can argue he probably has like mental problems or
yeah,
something
I
like
mean,
that.
it's not only that,
but he is essentially born from the fact that Mr. Incredible was kind of cold and rejected him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you go, oh man, if he just handled that situation a little differently, this could have all been avoided.
Yeah, like he's just a product of consequence. And I love that portrayal of him because he doesn't have superpowers, but when he's on screen, he is menacing. There is this power about him.
Oh yeah, the power of will and the power of how much he hates.
And he is a
supers.
genius, you know. So when you see him in action, it is.
Well, and that's
it's like you want him to go down, but yet you really get it. You really get where he's coming from. And it's kind of this heartbreaking journey of this dude who you hate, but also like care about.
Yeah.
It's weird, bizarre. It's weird, really weird. Yeah.
Well, and that is also kind of quintessentially a comic book thing too. I think
I
they
really
transcribe.
agree with this list. I really agree with this number one.
Yeah. His intellect is his superpower,
and his downfall.
He's essentially able to rise to that level because of how much of a genius he is.
Don't you kind of feel like Gabi are like the last 3 Toy Story villains could have been on this list?
I feel like Gabi's the most sympathetic.
Most sympathetic because she was born with a default.
She truly is an antagonist rather than a villain.
Whereas the other toys just didn't get that that's part of the toy's journey.
Yeah,
it's
it's
that
like
you're eventually not going to be with your owner anymore, and you'll get passed on to something else.
Yeah, they dive into villainy through denial.
Where she's another character who's just sort of been wronged.
Yeah, she's grown up with that defect, and so she's never known the good life to have, bitterness over losing.
That's true. I guess out of all them, I would agree to put this on this list.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's the least divisive I felt towards a Watch Mojo list. Other than I still think Scar should have been on the list, other than the hyenas. Everything else, I'm like, I pretty much agree with everything they put here.
Mm-hmm. And hey, props to TMNT and the other honorable mentions movies for getting on there. Her TMNT was okay.
I actually like TMNT, now I remember it.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it was all right.
I saw it in the theaters. I remember it got really bad reviews, but I remember thinking it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I heard it wasn't great, but it was actually out.
All right. Well, thanks, Watch Mojo. Thanks, Phoebe. I noticed they're featuring their faces a little bit more now.
Yeah, they're making it personal, They're even adding that subscribe bell a little earlier. They want you to feel like the people at Watch Mojo care about you. And they do.
And I've been manipulated into thinking they do. You can subscribe to watchmojo.com to get some of that in your system. You can subscribe to us. Click that notification bell. Andrew Hayes, go check out his YouTube channel. It was his birthday recently, so happy birthday to you, buddy.
Happy birthday. Everyone's August, September.
Went to Florida. He got to go to Disney World, got to check out Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, hell yeah.
He assaulted the person playing one of the stormtroopers.
Oh, hell yeah.
He got kicked out, put in Disneyland jail. He spent 3 weeks in there, grew a big beard, and now he's depressed, and he's slowly morphing into a syndrome-like character.
Oh, no.
Just because he thought he can get away with touching the ass of a stormtrooper.
Dude, you should just retire now.
These are all facts,
You're in the right place for it.
I want everyone to know this is 100% true.
This is what this guy does, and we just want you. This isn't really so much of a shout out as just a warning to all of you to look out for Andrew Hayes.
If you go to New Jersey and you see a 2'5" guy
with a giant beard, and a Wolverine hat,
be aware he will grab your ass.
He will grab you, and he'll pick you up.
Yeah. He's very attractive too, though. Yeah. So you might want it.
Yeah, your heart will flutter. You'll feel conflicted.